Welcome back to Road Review. I was riding the other day, and unfortunately I came across some glass and I had a flat. When I went to change the flat, which wasn't really a problem for me because I carry spares and a pump, but the main issue I had was I went to pull off my chain with my rear wheel, and as soon as I had to lift the chain to get the rear wheel off or touch the chain at all, my hands were completely covered in grease. I realized that my chain was filthy at that time and it really needed to be cleaned. So we have my bike here, and you can see the chain is pretty dirty. It's a relatively new chain, so it's not really in bad shape, but the chain does definitely need to be cleaned. So today we're going to show you how to clean the chain on the bike. There's two different ways that you clean the chain, and I'm going to show you the way that involves taking it all the way off of the bike, and it'll let you get a little bit cleaner than just taking a brush or a rag and going over the chain while it's still on the bike. About three things you're going to need. The first thing would be a good pair of rubber gloves so that you don't get your hands all greasy, because that's one of the main problems that we were having in the first place. So it's easy just to get a pair of rubber gloves, that way you don't have to worry about getting your hands really dirty when you're doing this cleaning. And the chain is very greasy, so it will get your hands greasy. And the second thing you're going to need is some kind of cleaning solution. So we're just going to use some pretty much just regular degreaser that we bought. It's about $9 to $10 for a bottle of this, and just mix it up. Really, it's one part of this cleaner to 10 parts water, or for a chain it says to use 1 to 5 ratio. So we're going to use that, and basically we're going to put this into a bucket. That's going to be the third thing we need, and we're going to use this as our cleaning solution for the chain. So that's everything we're going to need today to clean the chain. So now that we've got our gloves on here, we're all ready to start. And most chains nowadays, you can go ahead and find the link that you need to remove the chain with, and that's going to be right here. So you can see that there is a quick release on this chain, and all you need to do to take the chain off is slide these two links in the opposite directions, and they'll unhook from the centers, and you can basically take the chain off like that. It's really should be pretty easy to take off. So we'll go ahead and slide that apart. May take a little wiggling. There we go. Okay, so now we have the chain in two sections here, and we can go ahead and take that off carefully. Okay, and so now that we have our chain off, we're going to go ahead and take the two end pieces that we have, and we're just going to hook those back together into each other, and we'll lock them back together. Okay, so now the chain's back together, and it's a good idea to do this just because the chain you can lose these links. They will slide out, and then you've got the centers that are going to slide out too, and you're going to lose a whole bunch of stuff then. So it's better just to relatch it, and that way you can clean it as one entire complete loop of a chain. Okay, so now that we have our chain off our bike, we're going to take our container here, and we're going to put the 1 to 5 water to cleaner ratio. So that's the 5 parts water to the 1 part cleaner. And so we're going to put that in here, and we're going to use a brush like this. If you don't have one of these brushes, this comes in a cleaning kit from Park Tool, but if you don't have one of these brushes, you can really use an old toothbrush or any other kind of brush. A stiff paintbrush might work too. So we're going to take our chain that we have off the bike, and we're going to put it down into the cleaner, and we're going to just move that around a little bit. Make sure that it's sitting down in there. Flip it over, and then we're going to go over here. We're going to grab the brush, and we're just going to go and scrub the chain a little bit so we can work on getting that cleaner off. And what it's going to help do is going to help break down all the grime that you see in between the links there on the chain. You can see here it's a lot cleaner than it was before, and our water is now completely black because of how dirty the chain was. So Now we need to take the chain out, and we're going to go ahead and dry it off with a rag. Okay, so now we've gone and taken the rag and we've dried off the chain, and you can see that now it's quite cleaner than it was before. So that's pretty much all we're going to do to get the chain nice and clean. And while you have the bike with the chain off, and you can freely turn the crank without having anything interfere in the way, it's a good idea to take a paper towel or a rag or something and go ahead and wipe off all of the excess grease that may have accumulated from the chain onto the crank, and that's going to help you keep your chain cleaner for a longer period of time. So go ahead and just go around with a little bit of the cleaning solution and wipe down the entire front chain rings, and then also go in between the back on the rear cassette and wipe those down as well as on the derailleur. And that way you're kind of doing everything to prevent the chain from getting dirty in the future for a little bit longer, and you're not transferring any of that old grime and grease onto the clean chain that you just worked so hard on getting clean. And so now we're going to take our newly cleaned chain and we're going to undo it at the link here. Just a matter of pushing it together. Like that. And so now we have our chain apart, and we're going to go ahead and thread it back around onto the bike. And there we go. So now we have the chain back on the bike. And the next thing we're going to do is oil the chain. Oiling the chain, we're just going to use some dry lubricant. And the benefit of using this is that it's not going to stick to everything else and also collect dirt. So what you're going to do is you're going to apply this, and then you'll let it dry, and then once it's dried, it won't be able to collect all the grime and stuff that's on the road when you're riding. And so what we're going to do to actually lubricate the chain is we're going to find the quick release link right here, and then we're going to basically just start, and we're going to spin the chain around, and we're going to put one drop on each of the links. And then once we're done, we'll know because we'll be back at the quick release link. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And we're going to now take just a rag again, make sure it's a clean rag, and you're going to want to wipe up all the extra oil that's on the chain. That way there's not too much sitting there and collecting any dirt from the road. Okay, and so there we have our now clean chain, and so we're not going to have to worry about getting any grease or dirt on ourselves when we go to change that flat tire that we might have on the road. And everything is lubed up and it's working nicely. And so now we're all set for the next ride.